Let's pay homage to the Venerable Monk. To Master Sakya Tsongkhom. Homage to His Holiness, the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Dukten Darji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the mediety of the group practice tonight. Amitabha Tathagata, the founder of the Pure Land of the utmost bliss of the Western Paradise, Simu, Danchen Chatto, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma instructors, Dharma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, and also all disciples present here and over the internet. And our participating VIPs today are Madam to Ambassador Daniel Liao, the Taipei Rep to Norway and Sweden, Dharma Sister Judy, the law advisor to the foundation, the attorney Lu Wenxiang, accountant to Buddha Foundation, Dharma Sister Teresa, from Hong Kong, Professor Liang Chao Fan, and Dr. Ryan Zhong, and Dr. Su Lin, good evening, everybody. How do you do? Of many people who have not come for a long time. It seems to me that not many people are willing to do that. Today, during the spiritual consultation, there were many people coming from Manchester, England, Zhengui chapter. They're not here now. This just came from consultation. They went on a tour. They will come back, but they may return on Friday. Actually, group practice is also very important, and Homa is very important. You're coming from England, right? Manchester, the industrial city. Zhengui chapter there. Coming from so long. There's no meaning to go on a tour on such a hot day. It would be more meaningful to attend the group practice. However, let's applaud for them. There were many people, and each of them were asking for consultation and they have some problems with their bodies, but they have no problems going on a tour, traveling. That was amazing. If it had been me, then I would not just do the consultation. It's been a long time since I went to Manchester. I remember the first time I went to Europe, the first stop was Manchester of England. That was the first time I visited Europe, and my first stop was Manchester, England. I thought the Zhongkui chapter is gone, and there were many of them who came here, and yet now they are traveling on such hot days. Will they be here for the Homa tomorrow? No. They're going to Canada. Oh, that would be quite a hardship. But there are many disciples who are first time here in this temple, but they didn't want to introduce themselves. Of course, there are disciples from mainland China. They'd rather not standing up to introduce themselves. They have a reason, so it's okay. But people coming from other places should introduce themselves so that we know where you came from, which chapter. Like this time, the Vijaya, Ushina Vijaya temple, we have many of their directors and disciples. They could have stood up and introduced themselves. And they also make donation to Jupiter Foundation. Please don't use such a small piece of paper. I cannot see. Nobody can see. So if you make a donation of $1, if you make a huge donation, then you can use like a huge check, like an enlarged check, so that everybody can see. Otherwise, it seemed like under the table exchange. We don't know. That you want to keep it secret. It's okay. Donations should be public and open. So today we had the group practice of Amitabha Buddha. At this Lechang temple, we practice the 8 primary deities, taking turn one by one. And today it's Amitabha Buddha. In the past, my guru said that in chanting Amitabha Buddha, we also want to chant Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva and Mahastama Prapta Bodhisattva, because they are the Pure Land Trinity and they are together. They're always together. And Amitabha Buddha is the one that has the closest affinity with the Saha world. The Patakata that has closest connection. In Vajrayana is also referred as the Buddha of infinite life. So he's also a longevity deity. So by practicing Amitabha Buddha, it's very easy to gain health and longevity. So by practicing Amitabha as your yidam, you can go to his pure land, and Amitabha Buddha, Avalokitesvara, Kuan Yin, and Mahastama Prapta will appear in front of you and guide you to be reborn into the pure Buddha land of the West. And in Tibet, he's also considered as the longevity deity because he's also the Buddha of infinite life. So he could bestow health and longevity. And Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, or Avalokitesvara, is the key deity for purification. If you suffer from any calamities, you chant Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, then he or she can eradicate all of your calamities. And Mahastama Prapta has many positions, and he is the highest deity in wisdom. Although most people chant Amitabha Buddha, Avalokitesvara, Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, but rarely chant Mahastama Prapta Bodhisattva. But actually, Mahastama Prapta and Samantabhadra in Tantrayana that Mahastama Prapta and Samantabhadra Bodhisattva manifest as Vajrasattva in Tantrayana. Some people say that in Mahayana Buddhism is referred as Samantabhadra Bodhisattva, and in Vajrayana is referred as Vajrasattva. And it's the same. Some people regard that Mahastama Prapta in Mahayana Buddhism and in Vajrayana Buddhism is referred as Vajrasattva. They have very high wisdom. So we should chant this way when we chant Amitabha Buddha. Yesterday, someone asked me when we performed Mala visualization, so what is your position in the Dai Society of Kaohsiung? The board, the direct member of the board. Dai Society. It's like so they throw the moon block to decide who becomes the directors. By looking at her is that she is into a lot of scholastic pursuit and also has a very kind heart. She always asks questions to her. So that would be a good director. This is extremely kind. So Buddhas and Bodhisattvas have a good sight after throwing moon blocks, they chose someone that's kind-hearted. And what do? Elementary school teacher. Well, of course, teachers always. And she asked, why in performing mala visualization, you need to visualize the head of the, and then the divider, 4 of them. 1, 2, 3. Only 3 divider beads.
不对吧？对啊，那中间就是隔的27。
And then 27 beads in each section.
那以前师父教的是这样子的哦，他问我说是有什么意义
？And she asked me what is the meaning of this mala visualization. So today I would explain it to everyone. This was taught by my guru in the past. The thread connecting the chanting beads should be visualized as the Vajra chain, a white Vajra chain, chained together. This symbolizes Vajrasattva. Vajrasattva of the Vajrayana. And this is the head bead, and the 4 other divided beads are visualized to be the 4 heavenly kings. Viruddhaka, Virupaksa, Viruddhaka, and Vaishravana. So the 4 heavenly kings are the protectors of Buddhism and Buddhists in their practice. So you need to visualize them to be the 4 heavenly kings. And then this head of the also asked, should we visualize the 4 heavenly kings in front of us, behind us, around us, above us, below us, where? On top of our head? Oh my God. So I said, it doesn't matter, as long as they are 4. Anywhere. They can stand anywhere. They can be anywhere. Doesn't matter. Just don't be so worried about it. Just visualize they appear protecting you in your spiritual cultivation.
那这个佛陀另外有一个意义，他们以前教的是说这个佛陀。
And this head bead has a different meaning. Some people say that's Amitabha Buddha. Some people say that's Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. Actually, Amitabha Buddha and Kuan Yin Bodhisattva are the same. So in Vajrayana, Amitabha and Avalokiteshvara are together. So that's why you visualize them together sometimes. Amitabha to become Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. As you chant Om Amitevasi, you visualize Amitabha Buddha appearing in front of you. So another Om Amitevasi, another Amitabha Buddha would appear in front of you and continue like this. And then she continued to ask, so what does this mean then?
我觉得说，那个就是那个意义。第一个，观想这个念珠成为1000金刚念。
First, you visualize the chanting beads to become a chain of Vajra chain. And then when you chant, you would be focused because you would not think of any other thing. when you chant with the chanting beats, you don't have any other thought. So if you chant while have other thoughts, then that's a distracted chanting. But if you perform the mala visualization first, a thread, a circle of white light, and then Amitabha Buddha appearing, Avalokitesvara Prapta appearing, and then with Om Amitabha, and then the four heavenly kings appearing, and then with Om Ahom Beja Guru Padma Siddhi Hom Se, then Guru Padma Sambhava would appear, and then the second one, and so on. So your mind would be on the Buddhas, then your chanting will be effective. So first, you're mindful of it, and it is the right mind. It's not distracted, and it's not thinking of other things like Java Island or Taiwan or any other countries, or you're thinking of other things, then it's the same as if you're not chanting. Because your mind is not on the Buddha. So when you perform the mala visualization, is to retract all of your mind and to be focused on the chanting beats. And then one by one, Amitabha Buddha will appear. So you chant it with your mouth, and your mind is mindful of him. Then that's very tantric. In the Pure Land sect, they don't teach this. You just keep chanting and chanting and chanting. I've said this before, right? You continue to chant Amitabha, Amitabha, Amitabha. And then with the strike of the thunder, all of a sudden, Amitabha. And that was very loud because of the thunder. It was... And I told the story. There was an elderly lady that had chanted many Amitabha's name. And then she went there to the Yama King, and the Yama King took the sieve, and then all the beads fell to the ground, and there was only one bead that was authentic, which is the one that when the thunder struck. So only that one, she chanted it mindfully or truthfully. The other one fell to the ground. Because although she chanted the Amitabha Buddha, but the mind is not on the Buddha. On the grandchildren, what troubles they're getting into, and my son has not been obedient recently, and my daughter has been all over the place having boyfriend. And even when you're chanting and chanting and chanting, you're thinking of your household issues. So after chanting for so long, all you're chanting about is about daily lives. So that's useless. So asking you to perform mala visualization is to ask you to chant the authentic kata-kata mindfully. So thank you for asking this question. But please don't keep asking me questions. I would be extremely busy. There was Mr. Peng Ling in the past. It's not the Peng Ling from California, but Mr. Puli, acupuncturist, our disciple, and now he's left the world. And in the past, when he asked questions, I have to stand up. At the end, I just had to stand up because that's it. Like one of his elder sister passed away in Taiwan, and he flew back to Seattle. He was living in Seattle, and then he asked me about the tombstone for his elderly sister. So he asked me, Grandmaster, how tall should the tombstone be? Yes. And then I told him, so any multiplication of 7 is good. That's good. And then he asked, how about the thickness? And I said, well, okay, multiplication of 7 is fine. And then he continued to ask, should I use marble or quartz, or what kind of stone I should use? And I said, any stone is fine. And then he continued to ask, and then what should we write on the tombstone? How many? I said just the name of your sister, and then how many characters on the left, on the right, on the center. And because I have consulted for feng shui a lot, so I have said that here is the people that's living, and this is the one that's buried here, and here maybe like a good phrase or something. And then he continued to ask, and how deep the characters should be carved onto the stone. Oh my God, I couldn't stand it anymore. I said the carver would know. And what color? What color for the living one? For the sister at the center, what color? And over here. And then I told him. And then he asked how big the characters should be. How many characters? Oh my gosh. How big the characters should be. That should be designed and done by the carver, right? I said, you can just ask them. And he said, no. I have to listen to Grandmaster. Oh no. I don't know how big or how small the characters should be. And then he asked, she's not very old, kind of like youngish. So how should it be written? So I just cannot answer anymore. And then not only this, he asked again, what offering should we give for the funerals? Like whatever she likes. And then he asked, how about the sweet dumplings? And I said, oh sure. And then he continued to ask, the red one or the white ones? And I said, well, this is for funerals, right? Let's just use the white ones. And then he asked, how many? And you're asking me this. And you have to count how many beads in a bowl, how many dumpling balls in the bowl. My fire started to rise upon his askings. My inner fire was just in the pilot mode, and then all of a sudden it rises by itself. And then I said, that's it for the questions. That's all for today, okay? And then he said, okay, that's all for today. I'll come back tomorrow. Whenever I see Peng Ling, I would hide in the toilet. I'd rather go to the toilet, and I would sit inside it to quiet my mind. And then there was a little note of a little piece of paper being slipped into the toilet. That was Peng Ling again. And I said, I'm in the toilet, why are you doing this? And then he said, because you have the most quiet time now, so it would be most accurate. For this kind of person, I would run away whenever I see him coming with questions. There's so many amazing things in this world. One time, Grandmaster went overseas for Dharma propagation, and during the banquet, a disciple inviting us for dinner. After a while, Grandmaster went to the bathroom. And then in front of the unit room. And there was a sound and someone kneeling next to me, and I said, what are you doing? And he said, please give me empowerment. And I said, you want empowerment now? And he said, yes. Because he knows Grandmaster's habits usually during dinner time. Toward the end, Grandmaster would always go to the bathroom, and so he had been waiting there. And I had to explain what empowerment is about for a long time before he was willing to leave. And the floor was wet. But if one hand is extended to give you empowerment, how about the other hand? What kind of empowerment would that be? You need offerings for empowerments. We need to invoke the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And is it a good idea to invite them to the bathroom? Well, other than Uchishima. Oh my God, Amitabha. Sometimes this disciple, you know, the only empowerment that you can get in the bathroom is the urine empowerment, none others. So it's very difficult to say sometimes. Some disciples are really rare and unique. One time I went to Thailand, and I got on the plane and I thought, oh, finally I have my own quiet time. And the plane was about to take off, and then there was a flight attendant coming by and asked, "Are you Grandmaster Lu?" And I said, "Yes." "Oh, I'm the flight attendant from this flight." And then I said, "Yes." And then she said, she brought a stack of letters because your disciples knew that I would be on this flight. So they gave me a lot of this consultation question letters, and then hopefully you have time on the plane and give answers, and then I would bring them back to them. But I was on the plane, not on the Dharma throne, but just on the seat on the plane. And the flight attendant took like a stack this high of consultation letters that asked me to reply one by one. That may take me the length of the flight. So it's very difficult to be a guru, you know. Please help me. Don't ask all those irrelevant or unimportant questions. And Amitabha Buddha, as I said before, someone asked, living Buddha from Sikang, Master Nona. The Ningmapa, Rinpoche or living Buddha Nona from the Ningmapa was asked, what is the greatest Dharma practice? What is the greatest Dharma practice? It's from Sikam, from Kam. And then Master Nona replied, the Amitabha great Dharma. And there were several disciples that pressed him. It wasn't a good idea to press him. There were several people carrying weapons toward this Master Nona and forcefully asked Master Nona, please tell us what is the fastest Dharma to be reborn into the Pure Land. And Master Nona replied, very simple, let me teach you. As long as you can do it, then you can do it. And you can be reborn. Breathe in the breath, and the life chi at the heart chakra should be transported through the central channel to the tip of the crown, and to send your life chi out. That would be the fastest and the greatest Dharma to be reborn into the Pure Land. So when a person is about to die, the fastest way to be reborn in the Pure Land, as a tantric practitioner, remember, you breathe in, take a deep breath to fill your whole body, and then push it down to the base chakra, and then you lift it up to the life chi area, and you move the life chi, which is also the heart chi, and then you transport it out from the tip of your crown. Then you can be reborn into the Pure Land. So this is the greatest Dharma. Not the greatest one, but the fastest one. The fastest Dharma, or the fastest Dharma practice to be reborn into the Pure Land. In Tatayana, at the end is the same. When we are about to die, the life chi is moving, which means your soul is moving. Simply said, is to transport your soul and send it out of your body through the tip of your crown. Then that's it. Then you can go to the Pure Land. Like I said before, if you leave through the eyes, you become fish. If you leave through the ears, then you become an animal that's on the ground, land animal. If you leave through the mouth, then there would be the non-mammals, like crabs, insects, fish. If you leave through the nose, then there would be insects, animal, fish, non-mammals, and insects. And if you leave through the navel, then there would be human being. And then from the two holes at the bottom, that's hells and hungry ghosts. From the top of the tip of the crown, there would be gods, devas, buddhas, bodhisattvas. They all leave from the top of the crown. So there's the difference. You need to remember. So as a spiritual cultivator, you don't want to leave from the eyes, the ears, the nose, or the mouth. For the 7 orifices, you have to leave from the top of your head. That's why in Lamdre, it talks about how to open the apex or the tip of your crown. So today we will talk about the yoga of the channels. So this is of great importance in Tantra. So the right channel, central channel, and left channel. It's written here. The body is in the lotus position or any specified comfortable position. Also perform the quiet contemplation first. So you need to perform the 9 postures of quiet contemplation, which is the Vairocana lotus position. And when exhaling the breath, the key is for the mind to clearly visualize the self-nature fire in the right blood channel. So the right channel is of fire element and it is red and it is thick like the stalk of wheat. Have you seen a wheat stalk? So the stalk of the wheat is straight and the same size on the right channel. when inhaling the breath, exhale from the right. Inhale the breath and clearly visualize the self-nature moon water in the left channel, and it is white. So the left channel is of water element, and it is white. As for the abiding qi, which means when you hold the breath, like in Treasury's energy yoga, clearly visualize the central channel to have this four formulas, okay, for holding the breath in the central channel. It is as thin as the petal of a lotus, straight as the stalk of a plantain, bright as the lamp of sesame oil. So the central channel is bright like the lamp of a sesame oil, and it is red like the flower of flower or purple stalk flower. So four key formulas. So now you have the three channels. The right is fire, the left is water, and the center is the central channel. Visualize the three channels are parallel from the navel area all the way to the tip of the crown. The three channels are parallel, and repeat this practice. Most importantly, your mind is not fixated. It's not necessarily fixed on anything, but you don't have any fixation. You just go with whatever's suitable when you're meditating. And all the warmth and yogic experiences are at will. So the temperature generated and yogic experiences are guaranteed at will. So which means when you feel warm, there's no need to be excited about it. Just be, let it be, just let it be. And the number of repetitions is also undetermined. This is rather difficult to explain. So what he meant here is the three most important channels in Tantrayana: central channel, right channel, left channel. The right channel fire, the left channel water, and then the central channel at the center. When the breath is exhaled, you need to visualize the right channel. When you inhale the breath, you visualize the left channel and the central channel and the center, and three of them are parallel. And this is the apex or the tip of the head. And the central channel is from the tip of the head to the base chakra. And you visualize these three channels. And the key formulas is what I just read. I feel that the most important one is the central channel, like the fire channel on the right. And the left channel. A better channel is the left channel. So this is when my guru explained it. But there is no need to be so fixated on it, on your own channels, because the channels are inside your body. If you're a surgeon and you open up a body, you cannot see the channels. So the channels are visualized, and they are for use only during spiritual cultivation. They are visualized. So this is also a key point. The 3 channels are the key point. And I heard that after practicing the central channel for a long time, in the past, in Tibet, like during cremation, and they did the biopsy, and for a true spiritual cultivator, they could see a fine thread at the center. That was told by the Tibetans, that if you practice for a long time, that the central channel would become a fine thread that can be seen inside your body. So, practicing channels, qi and light drops, and inner fire. Water, fire are all related. Qi, channels, light drops, inner fire. They're all interrelated. And they are for use for spiritual cultivation, to practice the qi or breathing practice. And the channels are the same, like the highways, very straight highways. And the qi is the transport, like the vehicles to transport the inner fire and to let the light drops water to drip, to open your 5 and 7 chakras. Once you open any chakra, then you will generate light. That's the most important part. Let me ask everyone a question. I rarely ask questions. You can't drink the tap water in Taiwan, but I can drink tap water from America. Of course, the filtered water would have been better. So the Taiwan tap water is unclean and cannot be drunk directly. And you can't eat apples after you picked it from the tree, because fruits and veggies have a lot of insecticides and pesticides. So you can't eat them. But why? After you wash the apples with the tap water, then you can eat it. The tap water cannot be drunk. The unwashed apple cannot be eaten. But why can you eat the apples after being washed with the tap water? Sorry, I don't know. I don't have the answer. In ICU, the doctor asked, your wife is in coma now, and the husband said, please help her. She's only 30 this year. All of a sudden, all of a sudden, all the equipment start to come alive, and she starts to come back to life and said, "I'm only 29. How can you forget?" So his wife was gradually just shock her back into life, into consciousness. I often tell this joke when your wife is about to die, and then you say, "As soon as you die, I will marry a younger and more beautiful one," and immediately she would come back to life.
这个小美啊，放学回家跟爸爸讲，今天老师问我
Xiao Mei got
妈
off
妈
from
是
school
做什么的。
and got home and told Dad. The teacher
小
asked
美
me,
就
"What
回答
mom?
我说是
What does mom
我
do?"
是做生意的。
And I
爸爸
said,
讲对呀。
"She's in business." And Dad
然
said,
后老师
"Yes,
又问
right."
我妈妈
And
是做
then
什么的。
the teacher asked me, "How about your
然后
dad?
爸爸就
What does he do?"
宝贝，那你怎么回答？
And Dad said, "Oh,
我
honey,
想
what
了
did
一
you
下
say?"
这样
I thought about it,
爸爸
and then I said,
妈妈叫他做什么他就做什么。
"Dad just do whatever mom asks him to do.
这个是
Dad just
就是结婚的
does
时候
whatever mom asks."
还是做和尚好。
So that's the disadvantage of being married. It's better to be a
有
monk.
一个弟子问他的师傅，
There is
请
a
问师
disciple
傅
asking
要
his
怎么样才
guru,
能够给
guru
我失传的如来神掌？
how can
这个师傅回答
what
佛是
should I
有
do
缘
to
人
be able to
主要就是
receive
看
the transmission of the
慧根
divine
够不
palm
够
of
啊
Tathagata?
那么请问
And
师
the
傅，
guru replied,
我
"Well,
要
it
怎么样
depends
才
on
能
your
够有
wisdom
慧
root."
根呢？
And well, guru,
刚
how
刚已
should I
经
have
跟你
my
讲了，
wisdom
很
root?
明白啦。
I have said it very
佛度
clearly.
有缘人，这个缘是一言两言的缘。佛度有缘人，
The Buddha only deliver
慧根
those
非
with
常很
affinities.
重要。慧
But
是汇款的汇，
affinity, and this is way of Chinese, affinities also sound
师
like
傅用
dollars.
佛陀跟在附在他的耳朵旁边讲，有钱就好上的。
If you have money, then we can talk about it.
哎，师尊不会的，
But not for Grandmaster.
师尊不会这样。
Grandmaster will never be like that.
做师傅的也不能够这样。
As a guru, you should not be like that.
给你开口，我以前我师傅跟我讲，杨明和尚跟我讲，
The Venerable Mang Liao
你
Min
出
told
去
me,
度众生，
when you go out there
不
to
能
deliver
够开口
sentient
跟人
beings,
家要钱，
never ask for money.
绝对
Never
遵守。
specify an amount. I always abide by my guru's instruction.
但是我不敢对我们所有基督的上师讲，
But I didn't
他能记住
ask
他能当到上师，我不敢讲。
my
你们出去以后不要开口
Dharma
跟人家要钱，
masters who came to me for ordination.
我不敢讲。
I didn't tell them if they should not specify any amount or ask for money. Why?
我是守着师傅的话，
Because money
但是
still
我不敢，
plays a
因
role.
为这个世界太现
But
实，
I still follow my
不
guru's
敢跟
instruction.
人家开口要钱。我以前帮人家
But,
看风水，做一门风水，
The world
从
is
头做到尾，
pragmatic.
还是很穷。
You know, I provided a feng shui
我
consultation
说，
from beginning to end.
他那时候
And
我
he
帮
was
他
very rich.
他说我
I wasn't a guru then. I was just a feng shui master. And he said, oh, teacher, I don't have any money. And I don't have any red paper. And at that time, there was a red NT dollars or $50. 50 NT dollars. And he gave that to me for feng shui consultation from beginning to end until burial of his ancestors too. And then later on, he really became very rich. And that was true. So I don't dare to say or to request that you do the same, not to specify an amount, because the real world is as such. This is a joke that I have told in the past. There are many reporters that are incredible. So that's why if I don't know them, then I will not want to be interviewed just by anybody. Unless we're sure that they will not just publish whatever they want. Like when I went to Hong Kong, there was a fellow disciple, Master Lian Han, and the Lama said, oh, somebody wanted to interview you, and this magazine came to us on their own, and it would be good, and it turned out to be the Izhou magazine, the gossip magazine of Hong Kong. Actually, whatever they wrote is not related to the interviews at all. They have prepared the article already. And so I was set up, and they published all the horrible things. So please be careful about interviews by reporters.
这个从机场出来，纽约的记者一见面就问：啊，教皇，你是想来纽约夜总会吗？看夜总会吗？主教想避开这个问题，就笑着反问他：纽约有夜总会吗？结果第二天早上报纸登出来，这次访问的新闻大标题是：天主教教皇走下飞机的问的第一个问题。纽约有夜总会吗？
As soon as the Pope got off the plane in New York airport, asked, "Are there nightclubs?"
不要有记者采访的时候，大家就很高兴。其实必须要有把握住。
So pleased that you're being interviewed.
能够采访的记者能够讲出你真实的话，而不是他
to the reporters that they would report the real thing, not just a setup.
到哪里去都一样。 小钟问父亲：“爸爸，我听你说过，你上学的时候曾经留级，是吗？”父亲讲：“是啊。”小钟：“哎呀，糟糕！”父亲问：“怎么了？”小钟讲：“历史又重演。”历史又重演。还好。 啊，师尊在初中的时候留级2次，那国青、国旗都没有留级过，而且国青还跳级。他一进来啊，他是小学1年级，在美国学校读了1年级以后，老师给他跳到3年级，2年级你不用上。 就直接跳到3年级，因为他成绩太好， 佛经从小就是这样子。所以师母佛旗比较像你，佛心比较像我。
So for Qi is more like you, and for Qing is more like me.
这个是来拐老爸的。小华跟爸爸讲：“爸爸，如果你闭上眼睛，会不会写自己的名字？”爸爸说：“会啊。”那小华就跟爸爸讲：“那么，请你闭上眼睛，在我的成绩单上签个名。”
And then write your name on my report card.
这就是我觉得我们的修行在密教真的是比较难。密教你想修气脉明点都很困难。这个道果一下子他就讲到气脉明点，他没有讲到说我们修这个本尊法那其实本尊法我们每一个人都很熟练。我跟大家讲，你只要跟本尊相应修本尊法，你修到相应，我可以这样子告诉大家，往生就一定有把握。
Then I can tell you, you're guaranteed to be reborn in the pure light.
那修为什么还要修这个内法的气脉明点呢？既然往生有了把握，为什么你要修气脉明点
？Although you already guaranteed to be reborn in the pure light, why do you still have to practice the chi channels and light drops? Because this inner practices of the chi, light drops, and channels is that you would be in control of yourself. You can immediately or directly attain bodhisattvahood and Buddhahood.
你修本尊法的时候，你相应
at your own control. But once you gain spiritual union or have the yogic responses with the yidam, then at the moment of death, the yidam will appear and will bring you to be reborn into pure. So you're not in your own control, but the inner tantric practices, you can send your own soul directly to the pure lands, or to transform it to become a Buddha, Bodhisattva. So in Tantrayana, there is this practice of the chi channels and light drops. It doesn't exist in Mahayana Buddhism. In Mahayana Buddhism, it is all under the control of the yidam. So if you're purified and you're in spiritual union with the deity, then the deity will come and guide you. So that's second. But in Tantrayana, the chi channels and light drops is a direct attainment. So that's rather difficult to practice. It's quite difficult to practice the luminosity or the generation of the inner light. However, if you're able to practice and to generate light, then you're a rather higher spiritual cultivator, a Mahasiddha, a Siddha, a greater Siddha, which is a Mahasiddha. Otherwise, it's okay just to gain spiritual union with your yidam in Mahayana Buddhism.
非常感谢圣尊的宝贵法语开示，请唱诵组准备。灵藏寺有以下法务活动向大家报告：明天7月29日，星期日下午3点。